welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing a look using some of the new MAC individual shadows I recently purchased, and I wanted to do a look using these because I've been beyond impressed using them, and I just want to show you how great they are. So if you'd like to find out how I got this look, keep watching. So to start off, I've already primed my eyes using the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion, and I'm going in with some Scotch tape. As always, I'm sticking this to my hand twice just to remove some of the sticky so that it doesn't hurt when I go to remove it. And I'm just using the bottom of my eyelid and the end of my eyebrow as a guide for where I place that. Then I'm ready to go in with some eyeshadow. So I'm starting off with the shade Saddle, and I am using a Sigma E40 taper blending brush, and I'm just using a windshield wiper motion to apply this back and forth in my crease. Once I'm done with that, I'm just going to take that brush again and pat a little bit just against the tape, just to add a little bit of dimension in that outer V. Then using a Morphe M441 brush, I am using the shade Embark, and I'm going directly over top of the shade Saddle in my crease and along that outer edge as well. I'm just going to continue to go back and forth in the same area just until I am happy with the pigmentation and that everything's blended exactly how I want it to be. Then using what's becoming one of my favorite brushes, I'm using the Morphe E17 to apply the shade Sketch just in the outer half of my eye, focusing on where the tape is, which would give me a nice defined outer V. Then using a MAC 242 brush, I'm applying the shade Cranberry all over my lid and blending it into the shade Sketch. So I am leaving Sketch bare along the tape, but I am blending it over where the two would meet. Then I'm just going to remove the tape and reveal the nice harsh line. So I am going to take that Sigma E40 brush just to blend everything out. Now it's time for the always stressful liquid liner. So I'm going to start off by hoping that this works out, and then I'm going to just start lining the top of my eyelid right up against my lashes, trying to make as even of a line as I can, but I can always fix it if it doesn't look right. Then I'm going to use that nice line that my tape left, and I'm going to just start making a wing. I always start by bringing the wing out first, and then I just bring it back down to meet the line. And then once I do the one wing, I'm just going to go back and just make sure the other one looks the same. And thank goodness it worked out. So then I'm going to go in using the Nivea Post Shave Balm as a primer, and I'm just going to apply this all over my face. So I just use a little tiny bit, and then I rub it together in my hands, and then I rub it all over my face. So you just want to keep rubbing it in until it starts to become tacky. So you do have to work it in a little bit, but I do find the end result is totally worth it. Using my favorite foundation, I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte in the shade Classic Ivory, and I'm just applying it to the back of my hand because I'm going to be going in with the Quo blending sponge. Using the Quo blending sponge has been one of my favorite methods for applying my foundation lately because I find it gives a very airbrush and flawless looking finish. So I just dab it into the foundation, and then I start dabbing it all over my face. I started up at the hairline, and I'm just going to work my way down. I was worried that when I started using this method that it was going to shear out my foundation, but I actually really enjoy the coverage that it gives. So I've been pretty much using nothing but this sponge lately, and I absolutely love it. Then we're just going to speed over the rest of that, so then we can move on to the concealer. So for concealer, I'm using the Urban Decay Naked Skin in the shade Fair Neutral, which is my absolute favorite concealer. So I'm just going to apply it in a little bit of an arrow shape, and then I'm going to go in with that exact same sponge, and I'm going to blend it in. So I always blend outward to give a bit of a highlight towards the edge of my face, but I do tend to try to blend back and forth. I seem to have forgotten on that eye, but as you can see on the second one, I am blending in both directions. So I'm just blending that really carefully against that wing to make sure that I don't accidentally get rid of it, and then we are done. Then to set everything, I am doing something different today, and I'm going to bake my makeup using the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. So I'm just going to be going in using that same damp blending sponge, and I'm going to dip it into the powder and then heavy-handedly pat it in a few key areas. So I always start by doing under my eye, because that's where I need to set my concealer, and I do tend to get oily on my cheeks. Then I'm going to go down the bridge of my nose, which is another spot where I tend to get oily. You can just see me just patting that on. You can see visible powder. And I'm going to put it on my forehead, and then I'm just going to go in to make sure that everything's good under the eye, and then I will put a little bit on my chin as well. And I'm just going to leave that there while I do the rest of my makeup until I get to a point where I have to remove it. Before I finish with the powder, I'm just going to go in and contour. So I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit, and I'm using the shade Fawn on a Morphe G3 brush, and I'm just gently contouring the hollows of my cheeks. Then I'm just going to go back in with that powder and do the same thing as before, just right directly under that contour to give it a nice highlighted look underneath. Then I'm just going to go in using my Maybelline Baby Lips Dr. Rescue in the shade Too Cool and apply a little bit of lip balm to my lips to prep them for lipstick later. So I've already applied the NYX Micro Brow in Taupe, and I'm just going to go over that with the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Plumper in the shade Light to Medium, just to set that and make sure that my brows stay in place all day. So it adds a little bit of pigment, not too much, but it just keeps everything in place. Then using a bronzer brush from the brand Quo, I'm just going to brush all that excess powder off of my face. So what I'll leave behind is a nice matte, not powdery at all looking base. And this will seriously keep me matte all day, like I'm not even really going to have to touch up later on in the day. Then we are going to go back to my eyes again. So I am going to take a Sigma pencil brush, which is the E30, and apply the shade Saddle all over my under eye. And the reason I'm doing this is because it looks absolutely beautiful once you add a black eyeliner, which is what I'm doing next. And for eyeliner, I am using the L'Oreal Smoldering eyeliner in black, which I'm just gently putting in my waterline. Mascara, I'm going to use two different ones today. So I'm starting off with the L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black Mascara, and I'm just applying that to my top lashes. This will just give my lashes some length and it'll keep them nice and separated. And then I'm just going to apply that to the bottom lashes as well, and this brush is absolutely amazing for that because as you can see, it is tiny. Then I'm going in with the Maybelline Lash Sensational, which will give my lashes some volume and give them some curl. So I'm just applying one coat to those top lashes just to give a little bit more dimension. Then for highlight, I'm using the Too Faced Candlelight Glow Highlighting Duo, and I'm taking a Morphe M501 brush and I'm just mixing the two shades together and applying them to my cheekbones. So I'm going to do that on both sides, and then I'm going to go back in and I'm going to put that on my brow bone as well, just to add a little bit of highlight there. And then, because you can never have too much highlight, I am applying a little bit more to the tops of my cheekbones. Then for blush, I'm using one of my favorites, and this is NARS Orgasm, and I am using a Morphe EU4 brush to apply this. So I'm just going to take that brush and put a little bit on it, and I'm just going to gently pat that onto my cheeks. You don't need too much, but this will give me a nice natural looking glow. Then using a Quo fan brush, I'm just going to brush that all over my face to get rid of any excess powder and make sure that any powders on my face are nice and blended and flawless. And finally for lipstick, I am using the Marc Jacobs La Marque Creme lipstick in the shade Je T'aime, and I'm applying this directly to my lips. I absolutely love this lipstick. It is totally worth the price. It dries almost matte and it seriously lasts all day. I don't know how they do it. It's not a liquid lipstick, but it actually performs almost just as well. And once that's done, this is the completed look. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye!